That night, the hospital room echoed with steady beeps, each one a reminder that Grandma was still fighting. To me, those sounds were hope. But to the woman in the next bed, Karen, they were annoying. It started with a deep sigh. Then came the muttering. "Can someone turn that thing off? How is anyone supposed to rest in this noise?" Her voice carried, sharp and entitled, slicing through the quiet like a blade. I turned from my chair beside Grandma's bed and met her glare. She was in her 50s, perfectly manicured, a silk sleep mask pushed up onto her forehead like she owned the place. "Excuse me," I said carefully. "That thing is monitoring my grandmother's heart. She needs it." Karen rolled her eyes. "Then maybe she shouldn't be in a shared room," she snapped. I felt my stomach twist. Grandma was unconscious, a tube in her nose, a line in her arm. Every beep meant she was still with me, still breathing, still fighting. A nurse entered, cheerful but tired. "Everything okay here?" she asked. Karen wasted no time. "No, it's not. These machines are driving me insane. I can't sleep, I can't think, I can't—" The nurse cut her off gently. "Ma'am, these monitors are necessary. They're keeping her stable." Karen scoffed. "Stable? That woman's not even awake." I clenched my fists. "She's my grandmother, and she's still here because of those sounds you call annoying." The nurse gave me a look of quiet sympathy before turning back to Karen. "If you'd like, we can see if another room is available." Karen crossed her arms, muttering something about incompetent staff and favoritism. As she stormed off to speak with management, I reached for Grandma's hand. It was warm, weak but warm. The beeping continued, steady as ever, like a heartbeat in the silence. I whispered, "Don't listen to her, Grandma. You just keep fighting." But what I didn't know was that Karen's complaint wasn't over. By morning, it would turn into something far worse, something that nearly cost my grandmother her life. And all because one woman thought her comfort mattered more than another's survival. When I came back the next morning, I could tell something was off. The nurse's station buzzed with quiet tension, and the moment I walked past, one of them whispered my grandmother's room number. I hurried down the hall, heart pounding, only to find Karen standing by the doorway, smirking. The room looked wrong. The rhythmic beeping that had comforted me all night before was gone. The machines were silent. Grandma lay still, her chest rising shallowly, her skin pale. I rushed in. "What happened? Where's the monitor?" Karen folded her arms, her lips curving into an annoyed frown. "Finally, peace and quiet. I told them I wasn't going to spend another night in this circus." My throat went dry. "What did you do?" Before she could answer, a nurse came running in, eyes wide. "Ma'am, you can't be in here!" She snapped at Karen. "You had no right to disconnect anything." My world froze. "Disconnect?" Karen pointed to the unplugged monitor beside the bed. "I told you people yesterday, it was too loud. I couldn't get any rest, so I took care of it myself." The nurse's expression shifted from disbelief to horror. She rushed to plug everything back in, her hands trembling as the machine whirred to life. Beep, beep, beep. Those sounds I'd once found comforting now felt like thunder in my chest. Her oxygen dropped to 73 while it was unplugged. The nurse muttered, scanning the numbers. If this had gone on any longer— She didn't finish the sentence. Karen rolled her eyes. "Oh, please. She's fine now, isn't she?" That's when something in me snapped. "You could have killed her," I shouted. Those noises were keeping her alive. A doctor entered just then, calm but visibly furious. "Miss, we're filing a report. What you did isn't just inconsiderate, it's dangerous. You had no authority to touch medical equipment." Karen's mask of superiority wavered for the first time. "I just wanted some sleep," she said defensively. The doctor didn't flinch. "Then you'll be sleeping somewhere else. Security will escort you out." Karen's face went red with outrage. "You can't do this to me. I'm a patient." "Not anymore," the doctor replied flatly. Security arrived within minutes. As they led her away, Karen's voice echoed down the hall. "You people are unbelievable." All this over a little beeping? I turned back to Grandma, her hand still warm in mine, her heartbeat stable once again. That sound, the beeping, felt louder than ever now. Louder and precious. But the story wasn't over. What happened next would expose something even deeper about Karen, and why she hated hospitals so much. After Karen was escorted out, I thought it was over. I thought I'd never see her again. But hospitals have a way of revealing more than you expect. And by that evening, I would learn that Karen's story wasn't as simple as it seemed. Grandma was resting peacefully again, her machines humming like a lullaby. I finally allowed myself to sit down, exhaustion washing over me. That's when I noticed a nurse standing hesitantly at the doorway. It was the same one from last night. The kind eyes, the soft voice. "She's stable," the nurse said quietly. "Your grandmother's strong. She'll pull through." I exhaled, my eyes stinging with relief. "Thank you for catching what Karen did. I can't believe anyone would do something like that. The nurse hesitated, then lowered her voice. There's something you should know. She glanced around before continuing. That woman, Karen, wasn't just another patient. She was admitted yesterday after a panic episode. She'd come to visit her mother in the ICU, but her mother passed away before she got here. My breath caught. Her mother? The nurse nodded. She blamed the machines, said they made her crazy, said the constant beeping was the last thing she heard before the doctors. Pronounced her mom gone. I think she just snapped when she heard them again. I leaned back, stunned. The anger that had burned in me all day flickered into something heavier, confusion, even pity. I didn't excuse what she did. She'd almost killed my grandmother. But now, I understood why the sound of those machines had set her off like that. She should have still known better, I said quietly. She should have, the nurse agreed. But grief makes people irrational. She wasn't thinking about your grandmother. She was reliving her own worst moment. Hours passed. I couldn't stop thinking about it, about how easily pain can turn into cruelty when it's not healed. Later that night, as I was refilling Grandma's water cup, I heard raised voices down the hall. Karen again. She was arguing with a security guard, tears streaming down her face. It's the same sound, she cried. The same beeping that played when she flatlined. For a moment, I didn't see a villain. I saw someone broken, haunted by memories she couldn't escape. Still, when she caught sight of me, her eyes hardened. You think I'm a monster, don't you? She said. I didn't answer, because at that point, I wasn't sure what I thought anymore. But what happened next, what Karen did, before she finally left the hospital would change everything. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the hospital blinds, painting soft gold across Grandma's bed. She looked peaceful, stronger than before. The rhythmic beeping of the monitor pulsed like a steady heartbeat, the most comforting sound in the world. I was pouring myself a cup of bitter hospital coffee when I saw her, Karen, standing quietly at the doorway. No guards this time, no anger. Just a tired woman with red-rimmed eyes and trembling hands. I froze. What are you doing here? She swallowed hard, her voice barely a whisper. I needed to say something. Before I go. The nurse on duty gave me a reassuring glance and nodded. She's been cleared to leave, but she asked to see you first. Just for a minute. Karen stepped closer, wringing her hands. I know there's nothing I can say that'll make what I did okay, she began. Her voice cracked. I wasn't thinking. That sound, those machines, they reminded me of my mom. The night she died, that beeping wouldn't stop. It echoed in my head for months. When I heard it again, I lost control. I stayed silent, unsure whether to scream or listen. She continued, eyes glistening. I thought if I could make it stop, the memories would stop too. I didn't think about your grandmother. I just wanted the noise gone. Her words hung heavy in the air. For a moment, all I could hear was the beeping again. Steady, alive, unforgiving. You almost killed her, I said quietly. Karen nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. I know, and I'll live with that for the rest of my life. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small folded piece of paper. This is for her, for the hospital bill, for the damage, for everything. I can't undo what I did, but maybe I can help somehow. I didn't take the paper at first. My heart warred between anger and empathy. Then I saw something in her eyes. Not arrogance, not entitlement, but guilt. Deep, crushing guilt. Finally, I took it. I'll give it to the nurses, I said. Karen nodded. Thank you for listening. She turned to leave, but stopped at the door, glancing back one last time. Take care of her, and hold on to that sound. You never know how precious it is until it's gone. When she was gone, I sat beside Grandma again, holding her hand. The machines continued their soft, rhythmic chorus. Beep, beep, beep. This time, I didn't just hear them. I felt them. They weren't noise. They were life. And I silently promised to never take that sound for granted again. Sometimes the smallest sounds can mean the difference between life and loss. If this story moved you, subscribe and share, because every heartbeat deserves to be heard.